All right, guys, let's get started with episode 284 of the Current Gen podcast. My name is Tim, here with Dan and Kyle. Welcome, gentlemen. Kyle, welcome back. Glad to
Thank
have you
you.
here to
Hello.
chat with us.
It's
And
an honor.
and Dan, I know both you and I in recent weeks have had a chance to kind of take a break from normal life and travel and be somewhere kind of cool. While you were abroad, and we don't have to say where you were, but while you were traveling, does
France.
that change your gaming habits, or do you just kind of bring the console you want to play and still kind of do your normal thing, or do you shift and like, all right, I'm going Switch for this? Like, what do you do?
Oh, I mean, I don't play. It's funny because you're talking about playing games, and I was about to say I don't play games, Tim. All right, I bring
True.
everything. I brought the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Switch. I'm bringing everything.
Yeah, you
Wow,
have a suitcase
yeah.
just for your
we got all
console.
the
That's
stuff.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
you
no,
have like
we
really
just bring
nice
all
like
the stuff.
carrying cases for that stuff, or
I bought a little
Or are you just careful
case
with
for
it?
the Switch 2. So it fits mostly everything except the dock, unfortunately. But that I just threw in the bag with the Xbox. And then I just have a nice backpack that the PS5 does fit in. So
Sick.
yeah,
I like stuff like
split
that.
up a little bit.
I have a
Yeah,
buddy
The
who lives out
PS5
of
gets
like
its own nice
hotels.
backpack. The Switch has its own nice
course.
hard protective case, and the Xbox gets tossed into a bag with the dock. I think that's
And
appropriate.
probably not
Right.
even gets
Yeah.
turned on. You
Right.
know, it's just there so it doesn't
Probably.
feel lonely. Yeah.
Actually just goes in a bag of trash with
Yeah, there
trash.
it is.
And
Yeah.
I just happen
See,
to bring that with. No, I'm just
I have a
kidding.
buddy who
As a
lives out of
TV
hotels,
tray.
and he has like a nice like kind of setup for like carrying stuff around. I'm like, I like that there's stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know. It
Yeah.
like the land party's still alive in some people's spirits, you know. Like we're still
Right.
out there.
I should definitely invest in like
transporting
one
safely.
special carrying thing that just I could put all the stuff in because lugging
Bet
all
you
the
someone
bags
made it.
is
Someone
a little
had to
bit.
have made it. An all console
Oh, for
storage
sure.
container. You
It
know?
needs to be the kind that has like some
Absolutely.
dry ice that comes out, like a nuclear thing when you open it, and you have to use like
Oh
special.
yeah, well you and your
things
wife
to
also have
lift
to
it out.
like turn
Yeah.
the keys at the same time to open it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
Mark. Yeah.
I would love that actually. So if you could make that happen, that would be amazing.
Yeah. If you find that,
A
send it my way.
password that like resets every 30 seconds, so you have to
Yes.
like know the new
Yeah,
password.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Biometrics, it scans your face, all of it. It's got all of it in there.
I
But
just
it's
immediately
fake.
started
It's just like a
picturing
laser beam that just like, you know.
yeah, it just
not
scans
even
over.
real. Yeah.
I just pictured Mission Impossible, Dan Witt going toast, toast, right into the microphone. Perfect. It's perfect. Oh man. Well, I know that there's primarily one main game that's out this week that we'll talk about because I know that it's getting some play time amongst the crew here, and there's a couple other little games, and then we can go through what we thought of the back-to-back Nintendo Directs. Kind of interesting. You don't see that a whole lot from Nintendo where you have them back. I'm sure it's happened. If we were to look back, it's probably happened with partner showcases and indie worlds, and I'm sure it's happened. I just don't remember it being this close together. But still, still feel like there's that piece missing of what about the Nintendo one? When are we going to see the big? I don't think we've had a direct since the Switch 2 launched, other than the DK Bonanza focus.
Yeah,
I think they did.
I
one
appreciate a third party check in because third party is important, but like, we gotta like Metroid's supposed to come out this year. When is that coming out? Like, I feel like you gotta like we're running out of time. You gotta come clean at some point, you know? Like,
yeah, man, we're getting the closer we get to Labor Day, the more I'm like, is that coming out this year?
I feel the same way about the Zelda game too. When they showed it off last week and they're like, still no date though. I'm like, well, that's not coming out.
Like, yeah, they still said winter or whatever, or holiday or whatever.
That could be next year. Yeah, winter.
Sure.
Takes place over a couple of years. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that we're due one more, but who knows when it's coming or if September maybe. I don't know. They usually don't show up at Gamescom or Tokyo.
Yeah, I think they have a booth set up for some of the shows that they were talking about how Nintendo is showing off a few things like the Kirby upgrades.
Okay,
and
that's exciting.
I think Metroid
Kirby Prime. Remember a Sakurai game supposed to be coming out this year, guys? Remember that? When are we getting that?
Yeah, the Kirby, the Air Riders.
Yeah,
that's
when
just like side project, right?
I don't know. He seems really hyped about it, and it really bums me out that he's so excited about it. Yeah. I want him to be excited about making a Smash Brothers game. That's what I would like. Or Kid Icarus 2.
But let him spread his wings. Let him.
I don't want him to. We already have a Kirby game this year, and a kart racing game, which is kind of is. Like it just feels redundant.
And Sonic Racing comes out next month.
It's just too many racing games with mascots for 1 year.
It's a lot.
Sorry, Sakurai. I love
really,
you.
all they need to do is just port Ultimate, because it's literally the Ultimate version of
I
Smash Bros.
I,
And
I
like,
think is it did it get one of those updates? I think it did, but like I wouldn't mind like a full blown like we
yeah,
really put the polish on
just
this
port
one.
it over and do like one more season of like characters, you know, and be like, oh, like you got to have the Switch too to get these. Like, although people would be pissed about
more
that, but
Fire
whatever, I
Emblem
don't care.
characters. That's what Dan's asking for.
Yeah, right. More
Fire
yeah,
Emblem.
A whole season of Fire Emblem characters.
I mean, they could.
It's actually just Fire
most of you
Emblem
wouldn't know who they
cases.
are, but yeah,
Yeah,
they could do
I
that.
mean, I play all the Fire Emblems, and they were introducing characters every single season. I was like, I don't know who that is. You know? So,
Yeah, no idea.
there's 1,000 characters per game. I can't remember them all.
It's true. Very true. All right, well, let's jump into the major release from this week, and that is Mafia: The Old Country. This is a game that we've been talking about for a while now. You know, I'll just put on the review from IGN here in the background. We've been talking about this one, about how we're looking forward to something story-based and linear, and I think all of us have, to at least some degree, experienced the other Mafia games. I know I played through all 3 of the previous ones and totally loved those games. The first one has a special place in my heart personally, just because I played it. It was like an early PC game that I played, and I just loved it. But I had a lot of fun with the second one, and I like Lincoln's story in the third one, although maybe the open world detracted from it a little bit, a little too much of the open world stuff. I don't know what this is. Why are we looking at Goodfellas?
So they're talking about.
Maybe.
Oh, you know, they're talking all.
I see what
right?
I see what IGN is doing. I see what
they're like.
doing.
Yeah, Goodfellas is like this, and it's not. It's nothing like this.
It's not like that at all. But there are some Godfather-esque elements that I love in this game. There's some elements from Godfather 2 specifically.
I already told myself I'm watching Godfather 2 like this coming week. So
I can't,
like,
dude. I will absolutely revisit those movies too. You're right. But I know, Kyle, you've been playing it, so you and I can chat about it a bit. Dan, did you get a chance to? Are you going to get this one, and are you playing this one?
I like the setting a lot, so that interests me. But I've actually not played any of the Mafia games, so I'm very unfamiliar with them.
By the way, the new version of the first one, the remake, is
so good,
really good. Like they did a great job with it.
Incredible.
And it's a very linear game. The second one, pretty linear. They add a weird, like, almost arcade mission style structure to it, but it still works. And the second one's good, and it ties into the first one in some clever ways. Third one is open world and can be a time suck if you aren't able to, like, all right, I'm just going to ignore collecting all the magazines and the whatever,
or if you really enjoy your Ubisofty, you know, like, oh, I guess I gotta do all of this.
It leans
stuff,
in that direction a lot. Go into this warehouse and take down the guys who are sneaking the stuff. You know, there's a lot of that.
But there's a warehouse in every district. Well, when you take down a warehouse, you can take down a hideout. And yeah, I mean, you've played the game before. It's a very familiar structure.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny. IGN's really referencing a bunch of other games in there.
What's with all these like
Saints
zombies?
Row the Third. This is Saints Row the Third. So they're comparing it. I guess we're not listening to them talk. So they're making some comparisons.
Yeah, watching this with no audio, the context is lacking.
The B-roll is funny. I think the rest of it is mostly just the game, but whatever.
Okay.
So I fired this up the night that it came out. I was really glad to see that Steam actually released it the way that a console does, so you don't have to wait till 10 a.m. the next morning. They do that sometimes where it comes out like at 10 a.m. on release day. Very annoying. So, but thankfully it was up and running on the 7th, like that evening, by the time it was midnight, maybe even earlier on the East Coast. So that was great. And so I fired it up that night, played it for a few hours, and did not mean to play it for multiple hours. I meant to just like play the intro, but I could not stop playing. It was like next episode of a show. I needed to see what happened. You know, it has that vibe, at least for me. I really, really am all in on the setting and the characters and what's happening. But Kyle, what were your first impressions with it? And I know you've also put some time into this bad boy.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's you know, it is. We were talking about in the chat, like I just needed something linear like this. I just need, and like I'm glad it's back to this. I'm one of the few people that really like 3 and kind of liked a lot of the fluff and stuff like that. But that's just because I've enjoyed that fluff. Like if you don't like it, it's just time consuming and kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And they had some.
If you have
ideas.
time to play it, New Orleans, that setting, the fake New Orleans, is really good. Like it's a cool.
Yeah. And there's some cool ideas where you're like screwing, like favoring some bosses and giving some bosses land over to other people, and you know that maybe your friends become enemies. Like there's a lot of stuff going on there, but like it does kind of take away from like the cinematic DNA of the franchise. And I'm just really glad to see this one back. And the first 2 games were about 12 to 16 hours, which is what the length of this is too. So for them to sell it at like $50 as a budget game, even though it's in line kind of with like the majority of their series in terms of like content and everything, it's pretty cool. Like, especially in this time when we're all arguing about how much we should be paying for games and people are backtracking and people are, making excuses, and all sorts of stuff. Like it is cool to see just this game going, hey, we're 50. Enjoy it, and it is, I feel like you get a good amount of game out of it. And 12 hours, it might sound like a breezy game. I'm like 6 hours into it, so I'm about halfway. And there's nothing breezy about the story. It really takes its time. Like, you really get a sense for like everybody slowly and get an idea. Like you're not even like sworn in until hours into it. You don't even get into your first like gunfight until like 3 or 4 hours into the game.
Yeah.
And I just like that.
You actually are given an empty gun because they don't trust you yet, but they want you to be able to threaten somebody. And so like you have an empty gun for a bit, but yeah, it takes a while.
I don't know. I guess when I describe it as like you're just kind of driving or walking towards the next kind of cutscene or event or whatever, and maybe it's interlaced with some shooting, kind of like we're seeing here. Like that might not sound like fun to a lot of people, but it's exactly what I want out of a game like this.
Same.
And I just enjoy putting down the controller and like letting these characters, like, I don't know, just like breathe and become realized, because they're very well written, and I'm rooting for a lot of these guys who are absolutely gonna die. And
I actually did that, Kyle. As you start meeting characters, I'm like, well, you're gonna die at some point, and you're gonna die at some point. Oh crap!
We've seen mob movies, like we know what's going on here, but like, and I'm not saying it's not keeping you on your toes or anything like that, but like,
it's like you're gonna be annoying, but then you're gonna be lovable, and then you're probably gonna die. Like, I just you can kind of like identify.
Exactly. I don't know if I like you at first. Now I like you. Oh, okay, I see where this is going.
Okay.
But how far into it are you? Do you know how, like, what's
I am in there's 15 chapters, so I'm in chapter 5 right now. When you first are able to start, kind of, if you want to go to some of the shops to upgrade things or kind of explore a bit, you can. But similar to Mafia 1, where you could do some of that, and Mafia 2, there's just not a ton to do. There's not like huge side mission quest lines or anything like that. It's more of like some activities you can do here and there, sort of. But it's mainly you do the story, but you can upgrade. Like, there are vehicles in this game. Of course, there's horses in this game. You can upgrade those things. You saw earlier they were equipping some things on their rosaries, like the beads or the medallions that go on the rosary that gives you some kind of buff. If you've played other games, by the way, and I'm logged into my 2K account, it saw that I played all first of the 3. So it was like, here's this thing from 1. Here's this thing from 2. Here's this thing from 3.
Here's a completely time inaccurate vehicle, because you played,
which, by the way, I'm using, and it's so fast, and I love it.
Yeah, I bet. Because it comes from like 40 years in the future.
It's like totally impossible to be here, but
I like when they do stuff like that.
I do too. Yeah, I do like that. And you got clothes that were like, hey, you played 3. Here's some clothes, and I like that. I like that quite a bit. And even some of the
like the leather fedora that wasn't really worn here. It was more of a New York thing or whatever. But like, it's cool. It's cool to have.
And I like that they do call out Empire Bay a lot. So like they're talking about like, boy, things are really picking up over in America. I hear you can have steak and eggs every day.
Yeah,
it's
that's
1900,
right.
So it's like we're still early in our culture, but like New York is picking up. In terms
and
of,
they even say like, I'm surprised you didn't go to New York to make your fortune like everybody else.
Yeah, everyone's kind of leaving, Europe to go to New York to kind of live the American dream and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just interesting kind of hearing about stuff, but it's not connected. Like, maybe at some point someone's going to be like, I'm this person, and they're a descendant or, a forefather or something of like a character in another game. But like, I haven't seen that happen yet. If it has, it's stuff I haven't even clocked, despite being a, player of all the games. So, and I like that. I like that it's giving itself like just room to kind of be its own thing without like you needing a lot of baggage or knowledge to like come in with this one. But I do encourage people to check it out, even if you've never played one before. It is standalone. I mean,
what do you think about the gameplay so far, Kyle? My thoughts are that it is very simple, and that's not an insult. It's pretty straightforward. Third-person cover-based shooting mechanics. Some guns are better at aiming than others. The reticule will focus in if you have more of a rifle. It'll be a little broader if you're using a pistol. Or a shotgun, of course. So the aiming kind of makes sense. It's not perfect, but it feels fine. The driving and horse riding and running around, like all of it works, but it is pretty simple. Like, there's not been a moment where I'm like, oh, that's kind of a new idea. Like, there's the only thing that's a little new is the knife fighting ish. The knife fighting is sort of unique, right? Like,
it is sort of unique. Yeah, pretty easy once you get the turn of it. Like the parry windows are like, if you're coming from something like Dark Souls, like you kind of nailed it. Like if you ever miss one, you're insane. Like they're so open, but like I like that, again, like I don't think this game is about struggling. It's about your character kind of being a badass, and like you should be breezing through, knife fights and stuff like that. So
because you are literally a nobody, and how are you going to catch the attention of the Don, who by just sheer luck has allowed you to work for him? You have to be great. You have to be like a great horse racer, a great fighter, a great shooter. Like you have to be good at those
It's
things.
a literal rag to riches story, So like, and I like that, I know that like in recent years, GTA games have kind of steered away from that because like that was their template for a while. But like, I don't know, man, these gangster like games, it is cool when you get your first apartment and you're like, dude, I don't live in a, shed anymore. Like I live in a cool place, like I like that stuff.
Yeah.
I like the time jumps that the series is kind of known for. 1 and 2 were very much like this, where it would like jump a year or jump 2 years to like core moments in like your career as kind of a rising associate of the Mafia. And once you kind of get into the mix of like what that underworld or that family life is, like when you kind of get sworn in, like I don't know, like the whole vibe of the game is just cool, and you just like, I'm really bought into like all the the little nuances and stuff like that. And they even talk about how like this is a secret for life, and like, and I everything just feels like a really well done movie to me. And it's just like there are inner like, in between all the great movie parts, I get to shoot some people here and there.
Exactly. What would normally be probably a pretty fast action scene that maybe takes a couple minutes. Of course, that can be a 5 or 10 minute showdown as you run through like maybe needlessly lengthy areas of enemies that just, there's a little bit of that. But like it's a video game, so you want to have plenty of shooting to do. So you can use the guns and you can pick up guns they dropped. Oh, there's a sniper. Cool. I'm going to go to where he was. I'm going to pick up that gun and you can snipe some people. So like it's got the video gamey stuff if you want it, but like you're saying, I really do appreciate how cinematic it is. I've played it 2 nights in a row, way later than I intended, just because I'm really intrigued by it. Like I like the characters a lot. The acting is great.
Yeah.
I know for some folks it's like, well, why don't they actually speak Sicilian or Italian or whatever? And I hear you,
mode? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you turn it on it? I wouldn't be surprised if there was, but
there might be.
I think it's the Gabagool mode.
Gabagool mode. I'm walking in.
But I mean, I just played Assassin's Creed Shadows as well, and they just kind of had accents but spoke English, and like that helps me as this, entitled American to kind of feel like I'm.
See, you're entitled, but I'm dyslexic, so we're different. You're a bad guy. I'm handicapped. Like we're all here for different reasons. No, but I'm serious. I like that. I like dub. I watch anime dub. I don't care. You purists can jog on. Like I really don't care. Like I do like it because now since I'm such a visual person, I can not read slowly because that's what I do as I'm trying to decipher hieroglyphics on my screen, which is what they look like to me. And now I get to just enjoy like the visuals while hearing someone like talking. And what I would call extremely good voice acting, like
really good,
incredibly good. So
even for these little characters that are pretty non-important, but they do a great job. Yeah,
right. It doesn't come off as silly. Like that's not cartoonish Italian. Like they get Italian people to like talk in their like native, accents and stuff like that for this role, and it works on every level for me. And
what I think is appealing to me about this is it reminds me of playing like one of the Uncharted games, and I'm not saying the gameplay is the same, but like it's relatively linear with some options to maybe explore and find and discover some stuff. Really good acting, compelling story, great set pieces. Like this isn't maybe yet, maybe later it becomes to that level. It's not quite to the level of some of Naughty Dog's set pieces with Last of Us and Uncharted, but there are some pretty cool chase sequences. You saw some as we were watching through some of this review. Some of those sequences are pretty exciting, and especially at the beginning, the opening really, as Kyle was saying, it's literal rags to riches. And so like you've got pretty much nothing, and you're kind of just scrapping to survive at the beginning. And and some stuff happens.
It paints a really interesting picture, and I think they went out of their way to try and be as accurate as possible, but they're also trying to tell a story. So I don't know how accurate of the times were of this, but like going from like a guy who's working in a mine, and like the conditions that you see and how awful it is and how these people are basically slaves, like it's just interesting to me because then you get into the world of the Dawn and how he treats all of his people in his region, and like immediately I could see how someone could become intoxicated to this after you grew up, in those conditions. So it's like, again, I think the whether or not it's real or accurate or not, it tells a good story in terms of you being able to immediately buy into like why he's like, yeah, I'm in on this, whatever this is, I'm in on it, you know.
And they do have some fun optional stuff too. Like, don't get us wrong, it's not without its own little open world feeling elements. Like, for example, you get a camera and then it's totally optional, but you can go find certain vantage points and you have to use like old school camera focus things to get it right and then get the right angle. So there's that. There's plenty of stuff to find, lots of those upgradable things to equip that you can find. So it's got a lot of that. Very Red Dead style in that every enemy you kill, you can go loot or you can leave them. And sometimes you're stressing to try to loot as many as you can.
Sometimes just in the middle of a firefight, looting people, getting shot.
Looting,
like, like looting.
You're like, worth it.
yeah. I got 20. I got 20 exactly, which is nothing.
Worth it. Yeah,
I'm happy.
But yeah. I do like the knife mechanic too. We talked about the knife fighting. It is pretty basic, but I like the knife mechanic too, where you can actually go and upgrade your knives or buy new knives. Some of them are some of them can be for throwing, and you can do like instant stealth kills. Some can be better. They're better for combat. Some just have better, not stability. What's the word? Durability, because it has a certain number of uses on picking locks on either little lock boxes or on doors before you have to sharpen it again, and you can only equip a certain number. I think one whetstone at the beginning, and maybe later you can hold more. I don't know. But you can only recharge your durability little boxes a couple times. So yeah, you have to pick and choose. Like, what do I care about? Do I need to loot everything? Do I need to be really good at knife fighting? Do I want to be able to, long distance stealth kill some guys? So like, there's plenty of little choices you can make to kind of, this is how I want to play. You've got your shotguns, your rifles, your bolt actions, your revolvers, your sawed-off shotguns, and you can equip 2 at a time and kind of mix and match what you want to equip. So
play
to me, it's
change
like
your clothes. You
can change your clothes, change your hair,
economy.
facial hair. Yep.
Can you change your facial hair? I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, you can. But there's a lock. The lock is on where it's like story. I forget what they call it, but basically the aesthetics are locked unless you kind of want to. You don't care about how you look in the story. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of lock it so it is story specific, or you can unlock it so you can wear like ridiculous stuff you maybe unlocked or purchased or whatever. So anyway, they have a lot of that stuff. Again, none of it's like groundbreaking from what I can tell, but it's doing a lot of these things.
As a single new thing at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's not bad.
Even like the setting alone is,
that's what. I did bring that up. Is I've never seen a setting quite like this, like 1900s Sicily. Like I couldn't tell you any time I've ever been in this setting, and it does look different. Like the countryside looks different. Like everything just looks different. The architecture, it's interesting to be in this time.
Look at these cliffs, Dan. I mean, these cliffs look really good.
All right, hold on. Let me go to Amazon. Let me order.
Look at this. Yeah.
These
houses are made out of rocks, so they're basically cliff houses.
They're basically cliff houses. The views, the vistas, the overall visuals. I'm really impressed by them. Like everything from this motion capture you see, the expressions, like the little way the eyes move, or little smirks or smiles or anger, like the way Don Teresi looks at a character early in the game when you first meet him. I was like, this guy's terrifying. And I don't think a lot of video games can communicate that with nuance. There are some that have the technology to do that, of course, but not many. And so usually they have to do it by shooting someone in the head or like doing something really violent,
putting a giant scar on their face, or like making
big
it
scar.
so
But
obvious.
he's just kind of like a jacked Sicilian dude, and he just kind of stares. And the way that they have animated his face, it's great.
Yeah, really I don't want to disappoint him. You know what I mean?
No, me neither.
I'm very immersed when I'm playing this game. Like there's kind of a will they or won't they with the main character and somebody else that I want to spoil. That I'm just like, you guys are dumb, and like, but I'm into it. Like I like that it's happening, but I'm just like, everyone's gonna be in trouble.
And I already can kind of like you can predict where some of the story is going, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's kind of like when you go watch an action movie. And here's the good guy. Oh, there's the cackling bad guys who have dumb henchmen who will attack one at a time. I'm cool with it, man. I want to see some like I want to watch Nobody too, and I don't need it to do anything different. Just be more like John Wick, Nobody type stuff. That's all I need.
They got
an old man John Wick.
Second one. They got the director of my favorite action movie of all time. It Comes at Night, and, or They Come at Night, or whatever it is. And it is, oh man, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So sometimes like predictability and comfort is totally okay. But Dan, I like what you're saying because it actually is ringing true for me. The setting makes it feel really fresh, and I just feel like it's been a while since we've had a great old school mob story. And maybe we have, and I just can't think of it. But like this feels really original, really new, and I love it. It feels like watching a TV series. Then I get to, like Kyle said, have some gunfights and car chases in between.
I'd like more games because this game looks like it's big budget because it's pretty. It like looks like a nice game.
Yeah.
I'd like more games that are like this in different settings. Like that's why I love Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins so much because like how many Egyptian settings do you see in video games like of that caliber? You know what I mean?
Good point.
Like
that's true.
I would love just more exploration of different times and different places, in the world. Like
there are
stuff
places
like that.
we haven't been yet
cool.
that like would be cool, that we just don't globetrot enough. People get comfortable in like certain regions and they're like this is what people like, but like people are capable of liking other things, like we can expand our horizons more. Globetrotting is like one of the best things that we can do in video games. You get kind of set. That's why we all play Assassin's Creed, or why I play them at least. It is nice
right.
to just be like, I'm in like a time period right now.
Yeah,
and
where's the next one gonna be?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look at the culture and look at the clothes and the architecture, and it's cool because they go out of their way to.
The rumor of the next. Just a little side note here because we're talking about this game, but next Assassin's Creed sounds sick. I don't know if it's just somebody
the witch one
made it up in time. Yeah.
That's the one they announced
like the Salem like witch trial era.
That's Dan. That's your home country. That's New England, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be a little more fantastical, which is what I've was kind of what they said.
Yeah,
I'm totally
it just
down
sounds
for that, man.
interesting.
I liked the setting of 3, even
new,
though it didn't do a lot of stuff that I loved, but I overall liked 3,
right?
And I loved the setting of 3. So I like kind of old colonial America setting. Yeah, no, you're totally right though about this, where it's the setting is what makes this feel special. The characters, of course, really are what keep me there. So like the setting made me interested. The characters and writing and story are keeping me engaged. And the gameplay is, I would call it, at the very least, it's like above average because it's not like it's bad, but it's not doing anything new. So it's not making me go, I can't wait for another shootout. But I'm not like mad when there's more. Some games the gameplay just really misses. Right, exactly. Like some gameplay games, it's just like I don't want to do another fight. These fights are like the gameplay is just not working for me, and they're just annoying. This doesn't have that for me at all.
Yeah.
As you guys were talking about the settings and globetrotting, I think that's one of the things I really loved about the Indiana Jones game. Was of course the gameplay was fun, the acting was great. I love the character, of course, but you have to hop around these really cool locations that you don't always get to explore. I just thought that was great, and I loved that about it. So, so yeah, this feels like an adventure, and it feels like a great Mafia movie, and I'm super in. And like Kyle said, I don't want to disappoint my Mafia dad. You know what I mean? Like
same,
I got that.
Yeah, and same with Luca too. Like Luca's like this guiding character for you, and I'm like I don't want to like I don't want this guy to look bad on me. I want him and his wife to be really proud of me. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
Can I help you guys with anything? You know what I mean? I want a button for that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
I'm loving this game. I'm absolutely. I don't see a situation where I won't finish it this coming week, just because, like Kyle said, it's not a super lengthy game, and when I do have even just a few hours here or there to game throughout the week, this is the only one that I'm that intrigued by, that I've got to see what happens next. There's others that I'm playing and enjoying, but they can wait.
Well, I guess there's something about a linear game, like you're going to get like instant satisfaction out of it. Like I know, if I sit down and play for any amount of time, I'm going to get a story beat pretty quickly. That I'm going to go, oh, that was worth sitting down for.
That's right.
And I love that. I love that. I know I'm going to get like a treat or multiple treats if I ever sit down and get to play this game. Depending on my play session length.
Totally agree. Well, so Mafia: The Old Country, I couldn't recommend it more. I know the reviews on it are somewhere in the high 7s. Some places gave it in the 9s and 8s. It depends on what reviewers you like and trust, of course. I think if I would have predicted it, I would have predicted it right around a 8 out of 10, maybe a little less. So it's about what I expected. And I think a lot of things we're saying, there's probably expectations that others had, like after Mafia 3, and they probably had expectations of more open world and more
Yeah,
know,
possibly. Yeah, what if those fans of that stuff, liked all that stuff, and they come here and they're like, "This is like bare bones," and it's like, "Yeah, isn't it great?" No, it's not. So yeah, I can understand how like there's a disconnect there.
Yeah, but to the devs' credit, they were pretty clear about it. Like,
yeah, I'm
a
blame consumer first guy, and guess what?
Yeah.
You didn't pay attention. So
that's right. They were very clear on this one. Sometimes devs are misleading. We know that.
Yes.
But in this case,
no. Oh yeah.
In this case, they told us. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, this other game came out, which we'll talk about with the Nintendo Direct here, but it's worth highlighting as a nice palate cleanser for those of you who like these kind of games, and that is Tiny Bookshop is now out, if you want to give that one a look. It's got this very cartoony, almost storybook look to it. And then, as far as I can tell, you literally run a tiny bookshop. It's got this life sim point and click adventure feel to it. Yeah.
Looks cute.
So you literally are suggesting books to people who come up, but it looks like one of those cozy style games. Yeah.
You give someone dystopian fiction. Wow.
But that part right there. So that part right there where you open a box, if it's what I think it is, it's almost like opening a card pack, and it's like,
I was gonna say, is this like what I think it is?
Because now I'm super in.
Yeah, if this is anything like collectible trading card game simulator or whatever that game is called, I'm in.
I mean, it seems
I
that
thought you were
way.
talking about unpacking.
No, we're never talking about that. Collectively,
let's dive into some
podcast is never talking about that.
But yeah, I think you just basically upgrade your shop, you get more books, you're recommending to people. It looks like you can relocate and decorate, and I mean, it just looks super cozy. So it's only $20. It's one of those ones that is, for me, who likes these kind of palate cleanser games, that to me an easy, like, yeah, $20 is worth it. But it's also a no-brainer when it does go on some kind of sale at some point too. So
I'm gonna have to wish list this.
This one looks nice.
Looks way cuter than I thought it would. So
yeah, tiny bookshop. And I showed the trailer to my daughter too, and she's like, get it. All right. Relax. Yeah. So she's super pumped too. All right. This next one is really funny. It's called The RPG. The RPG. And it, of course, opens with the
so
Skyrim.
You're awake.
Hey, finally awake. What is
That's
this
the glitchy
called?
dragon. It's called The RPG.
The RPG. What is this on?
I think it's on everything. It's definitely on Steam. I think it's on everything, though.
Oh my god, that was actually funny.
I don't even need to see any more of this. I'm writing it down. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
It's so, for those of you just listening, it has this very like silly, cartoony, almost like a human fall flat type character design.
Yeah.
Stick figure design. But it's a first person RPG. Like, you literally have a health bar and a mana bar, and you're going and you're upgrading things. You can see your sword. But there's an elevator from the beginner's floor. It just looks really silly. It just looks,
Yeah.
It looks really silly.
Welcome
But I thought it was worth calling out.
Dungeon Club.
This kind of stuff can be fun sometimes. But there's...
And it's done well, then you add a little bit of humor to it.
If it's done well. If it's done... I have no idea. I'm not here to vouch for its
quality.
its
whole identity could just be that opening Skyrim gag, and they're like, and then it never gets better.
I did like the opening gag and the glitchy dragon thing. That was good. You know what I mean? Like, that was good. That's funny. But anyway, the RPG is out now if you want to give that one a look. All right, for you arcade shooters, Gradius Origins is now out. Now it's a little steep in my opinion. It's $40, but that's just one curmudgeon.
Got multiple games on it, though,
no,
right?
That's just a really good take. That's all that is. $40 is a lot.
Is it multiple games? I didn't think.
I think it is a collection. Ooh, no, it is Origins. So it could be. I guess I don't know.
I know that there was something. I remember it being announced where it was multiple Gradius games.
I thought there was a collection that came out, and then this is a different one. But no, you're right. Comes with 17 versions. You're right. Yeah.
Well, 17.
Like, it's every Gradius.
So not too bad then for 40.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's true. That is a lot of games.
Dang. Guys, listen, Konami, I know that it's got all kinds of games in here. This is totally worth $40 then if you like the Gradius games.
Sorry, everybody.
Konami, we like to make fun of them because they made some of our most beloved games and IPs, and then it seems like they've just really fumbled over the years in various ways. Some of the collections they've put out have been phenomenal. like
I think they're at their
Castlevania
best when they're
one.
like, guys, remember this? And we're like, yeah, we love this. Yay.
The Metal Gear collection I thought was
Yeah.
excellent. The
Yeah,
Castlevania one was
I know people
excellent.
like review bomb that, but that game is awesome. And it's the only way you can own that collection now, and you can suck it if you don't like it. Because
so I stand corrected. $40 is a good price. I thought it was just the first game.
That's a lot of
redone,
games.
but I'm totally wrong. So there you go. Check out Gradius Origins if you haven't before. It's on Switch. I think it's on everything, but this particular trailer was from the Switch channel. All right. Dan, you called this one out when it was first announced.
I didn't know this was out. Now I saw this on the list. I was like, "This is out!" Like
Artist Impact. Yeah,
this
game has such a cool
amazing
art design. Yeah,
what is this? This is cool.
Yeah, it's called Artist Impact.
Want to know something wild? This was made by one person, and he used a couple of programs to make it. One of them being RPG Maker MV.
No way.
RPG Maker to make this. Yeah. Which is I didn't know until I just looked it up. Which is insane.
Okay, that's cool.
I got that written down too. I think it's like a more of a narrative adventure. I could be wrong. Maybe there's combat elements.
It's an RPG.
Is it an RPG?
Yeah. It probably. I don't know if it's going to show in this trailer, but I saw
this trailer might be more focused on
turn-based combat.
Okay, turn-based
story.
Really? Oh, there it is. There's some combat. Okay.
Ooh,
sweet.
That's cool.
Dude, the animations look unbelievable too. Look at that.
Yeah, I got that saved. Yeah,
that's
good. Is this on? What is this on?
I'm kind of mad. It's only on Steam. So I'm kind of bummed by that. But
so I think is it early access or is it just Steam only for right now?
I think it's
just like how you and I both have very capable computers, and we're both like we're bummed that this is on a thing that we have and can't use it on.
I want to sit my butt on the couch. I just want to sit on the couch.
I guess I could always put it on my Steam Deck.
Let me sit on the couch.
Good. Sit on the couch. Yeah, no, that's cool. It'll come. A lot of these games make it. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never thought like Gas Station Simulator and Dave the Diver made it to Switch, and then like that stuff makes it over. So,
but here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. All right, last one I wanted to call out is just a throwback that got re-released, and that is Heretic and Hexen got re-released by
Melee
Bethesda.
Doom-like or something.
I remember playing Hexen on I want to say it was on the N64. Pretty sure it was, but yeah, very Doom-like. But
I remember that. That box art.
Yeah, I remember playing Hexen.
Yeah, definitely Doom coded.
Yeah, it was a Doom magic casting game. Nice. So I don't know the difference between the two. I just remember thinking Hexen was cool when I was younger and played it on. But this does look like, I mean, some of these elements you can tell it's been really modernized. Like, of course, it looks like N64, PS1 era visuals, but you can tell the smoothness of it and some of the textures, just the clarity on them. Like, it's definitely been up-resed. So
sure, yeah.
If you want to check out these games, you can. Online deathmatch. It's hilarious. They make online modes for this. It's so funny.
Yeah, right.
There's probably going to be a small but very dedicated crowd for that. So, yeah. All right. So that's it for new stuff. At least, again, stuff that I am aware of. But other than new things, or maybe continuing on with newish things, what else are you guys playing this past week? What, Dan, like for example, on your trip, what did you spend your time playing this week?
So I was gonna play Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I finally picked up Death Stranding 2, Kyle. So I actually ended up mostly playing Death Stranding 2, to be honest.
Okay. Did you finish?
I was gonna try to
right?
like balance it out.
First one?
Yeah. Okay. And I really enjoyed it. And the game is beautiful. Like I was mentioning in our chat, like the Decima engine, like Sony needs to like.
When you have the pros, you're seeing it how I want to play it. Like you're playing it right. Like well, I hear this game has a major like pro like lean, if you will. So
there's definitely some shots of the environments where it's like this is just real life. Like this just looks like real life. Like this is insane. But Sony needs to cut the shit with the live service obsession and like invest more in the Decima engine and like make more games.
Yeah, I'm shocked that more people, because when I think like good graphics, I do think like Horizon and like how big that game is and how amazing it looks for like how big it is. And this is the same thing. I'm like, it's really open, and how does it look so good? Like,
yeah, it's unbelievable. But yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza looked great on the big old projection screen. And this game, Kyle, on the project, dude, it's like being in a movie theater playing Kojima's masterpiece. Like, are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. Yeah. It was unbelievable. But yeah, so I played a little bit of Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it was super cool. Just Donkey Kong smashing shit on a giant screen. But yeah, like you want to play like a high fidelity, like, and especially Kojima, because he's, you know, he's like he also wants to be like a movie director, so it's like literally.
Oh, in this movie, that's like all this is him going, I'd stitch together a bunch of really cool scenes that really don't connect in any way, right. but you know, they're all really cool though, you know. So
yes. So I got to the first
feels like his most movie though, like in terms of like, you know, his lean into cinema.
Yeah, the way it's like presented in a lot of the stuff, like even just early on, like I've seen like some stuff already that it's like, yeah, that's just like the way it's shot is interesting. And I got up to the first boss fight there, or at least I'm pretty sure you would call that the first boss fight, kind of like a head type thing. I'll just leave it at that.
Goo head.
Yeah.
Big tar thing.
You could have said any word and I would not have been surprised.
No, I don't think you could spoil this game. Yeah, I honestly don't think it's possible.
Like, you said head, and I was actually like, that's kind of normal sounding. Like, you could have said anything. Like, the first boss fight was against, and you could have said a basket. And I was like, yeah.
A giant motorcycle being, you know, like,
dude.
okay.
Let me actually be more specific. It was actually Al Snow, and he came out with the head.
What do we want?
What does everybody want?
What does everybody need?
That's right. That's what it is.
But yeah, it just a gorgeous game, unbelievable.
Are you still in Mexico?
You know, obviously,
or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to think of like the last specific thing. There was because basically you get a little bit of story from a certain individual right before that fight, and then he like pauses, and then you get the rest of that. So like I'm basically like right after that. So that's where I'm
nice.
That's where I saved. So but yeah, it's just, man, just perfectly acted. And the shooting like feels really good, like because there's more emphasis of the shooting on this one. Feels really cool. Just the way the bullets like hit the enemies just sounds cool, and like
the way it slows down too when you get seen or immediately start shooting. Like there's just a coolness factor to a lot of it, like where I don't know. They did a good job. It's not exactly hard. Like you could run into
really mainstream, you know, like really appealing to.
It is really mainstream, audience. Yeah. But you can run into almost any base with just a machine gun and kill everybody super easily, you know. Like, but like, you know, I don't know. I'm not trying to have the game push back too hard, you know.
Sure.
But they get you into it really well when you're doing that kind of first tutorial like delivery. Like the very first thing you kind of come across is like, hey, there's guys here. And it's okay to shoot them now because your bullets aren't lethal. I'm like, great. I just murdered. Yeah, you knock them out with your rubber bullets or whatever they're made out of. And hit them that way. And that's cool. I like that. And so the game like kind of immediately goes, hey, we're re-identifying as kind of something else. Like you're not just going to be like, I mean, you are going to be carting stuff around.
It's not just a walking sim,
but you are doing other things now. Yeah, and there's some vehicle combat, and like they've. You know, it is not what the first game was. It is like kind of a progression of that, but I think they added a nice healthy amount of cool action and you know, memorable shooting stuff. So that's good.
Yeah, balance it out a bit more than, you know.
Yeah, I think it makes the walking more tolerable for people, for sure.
So then, Dan, what's your status on that one? Are you like, I'm committed to this game, I'm playing, this is my game, I'm playing it, or were you just kind of testing the waters on it a bit?
So Tim, when we had our little fireside chat last episode, I was going to finish Fantasia, and I believed, and I did not finish Fantasia.
Oh no!
Because
so disappointing.
Are you at the end? Are you near the end?
I'm at the end for sure. But the question is, how many phases do I have to go through at the end? So Sakaguchi went full meme. This isn't even my final form. Like. Old-fashioned RPG nonsense. Like, spoiler alert for anybody who doesn't, you know, for Fantasia, but there 3 forms. I think I fought 3 forms. I think the third one is the last one. I'm like very positive that it's the last form, but I could be wrong. Yeah. But yeah, and there's no saving in between forms. So
This reminds me of like the Final Fantasy X boss, like at the very end, where there was way more than 3 forms. And it's like
there's a bit of stuff
no
going on there.
Yeah, you just gotta gotta gauntlet all of them.
Yep.
How many times have you tried it?
You've been training your whole life for this, Dan, so you're gonna be fine.
True.
You're gonna survive.
True, I've done it before. I can do it again. I only did it the one time through because, again, I wanted to mostly play Bonanza and Death Stranding on the screen. So, so yeah, I basically right now I'm just grinding. So I'm gonna grind a few more levels, and then I think I'll be okay. So
okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, we watched because Renee we went to an Airbnb. For anybody who doesn't know where I went, we went to an Airbnb for my wife's birthday this past March. And with everything that I've had going on these last couple months with the anxiety and everything, I just like suggested on a whim, like, hey, do you want to go back there again? Because we super enjoyed it. And she's like, yes, I do. So that's what we did. We went back to the Airbnb with the big screen and the hot tub and everything. Yeah, last time I forgot to bring Dracula Dead and Loving It, which my wife and her family love. So we watched that this time. So we watched that on the big screen.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And that's really fun. It's a fun movie.
It is. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's Mel Brooks, right?
Didn't
Mel Brooks do that? Yeah, it's Mel Brooks. Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies.
Mel
I'm
Brooks.
not even kidding.
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Top 10 laughs when he like stakes that girl and it just like sprays forever. And then he gets handed like a small little hanky, like here, clean yourself off with that. I don't know why.
Yeah,
one of
the like 3 times.
In my life.
3 times.
It helps that Leslie Nielsen can keep a straight face during any conversation, any scene. Like he never breaks. Apparently,
he's the best.
He is amazing.
He's the best.
Yeah. So that was fun to watch on a bigger screen.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Well, Kyle, what about you? Anything else you're playing or that you wanted to talk about playing or watching?
I because of the sale and direct last week, ended up getting Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven, which I've never played any of the Romancing Saga games, and was absolutely shocked at like how this game has this huge mechanic, and I've never heard anybody talk about it ever. Like it's like a lineage thing where like you start the game as the king, and it's not spoiling anything, but like you die, but like everything you did as that character level wise, like what you progressed, like how you did everything, not unlike a roguelike, but don't think that. Just
Rogue Legacy.
Like yeah, it's kind of like, but yes, think that, but it's not a roguelike, you know?
Yeah.
And you die, so like your next character like inherits like all those moves and stuff like that. And it's a multi-dynasty, multi-generational like timeline type of RPG.
I did not know that.
And it looks so cool. Like it kind of looks like a budget like Dragon Quest 11. Is that the one that came out most recently?
Yeah.
Whatever the newest one was that like was bonkers looking, you know, very much like that, like brightly colored type of fantasy game or whatever, turn-based, you know, combat system, 5 players, I think, or 5 people on your squad, which feels kind of unique. You know, it's a pretty big team. I just love everything about it. I'm shocked that I've never heard anybody talk about it before. And I've seen it rated really, really high on Steam. I know it was on the original Switch. I don't know why, but like it being at a sale price and it coming out on Switch too. Again, we always talk about how vulnerable we are. You know, like I'm like, oh, it's Switch 2 RPG. Let me buy it. It's on sale right now too. Instead of 50, it was like 35. I absolutely think this game is amazing. And this is part of Square Enix's kind of like, they were trying to revitalize the Mana series, which unfortunately didn't go well. You know, they ended up closing them that studio or whatever. So this is probably what's going to happen to this studio as well. But like, it's another kind of outreach and trying to revitalize some of their older IP to see if there's any kind of like viability there.
You said Saga 2, right?
Is it Saga Frontier?
Yeah, no, Romancing Saga 2 is what it's called.
Romancing Saga 2. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the same one. 7. Yeah.
I just grabbed that recently. I grabbed it recently.
Yeah, you have it. Okay. Dan, you're in for a treat with this one, which is a good segue for me for my other one, which I know you own a copy of, which is .hack GU. I put a lot more time into that. I beat the first game. There's 4 of them. They're about 20 hours each. I beat the first game. If y'all remember, the gimmick is that whatever you do in the first game carries over into your next game, like stat for stat. There's no like amnesiac, like, oh, I forgot how to be a character and yada yada. You transfer everything over. Not even like Mass Effect, where it's just like, yeah, your money got brought over, but you're level 1 again. No, like this is a truly, like a carryover type of saga. And like I said before, I've only played the .hack sign games like Infection and all the other ones that came out in that series. This is the second series out on PS2. Again, beat the first game, incredible ending, huge cliffhanger, and the next game just starts so heavy. And I'm just like, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving playing this old ass PS2 game that's so janky, and it's barely fun to play. I don't know, like it's just old, but I love it, man. I'm loving everything about it. What's that?
The concept is so cool. I wish they would do stuff like that more.
It's incredibly cool. Yeah, like my favorite thing about this series is that you are a character playing a game inside of like I'm playing a video game of a character playing a video game. So it's like you log out of the game and go to like your home screen and your desktop, and you're checking emails with your friends you made online. Cool. You're reading the news that's going on in the real world, which actually reflects things that are going on in the game world. You can set your desktop and your background music and things that you unlock and go on fake message boards of people actually talking and getting secrets through going through message boards, and then taking those secret keywords and going to secret like worlds and getting secret items. And it's just like cool. And there's nothing like this on Earth. Like this is the only series that's ever done anything like this. It feels
I mean, anime, it like started to like expand on like Sword Art Online was like the first really popular anime of that style of thing. But like games, I wish games did it more often.
Dot Hack definitely set the foundation for like the massive success that Sword Art Online became.
Cool. Yeah, the only game I could think of that did like you kind of jack into a game was the Battle Network, the Mega Man Battle Network games.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Okay. I think that there was kind of a similar thing with that.
Those games were super fun.
Very cool games.
But I didn't realize that's what Dot Hack was. But that's cool. Some titles on some games just make me go like, I probably won't look at this one. Like,
and the only reason I played this is I watched. No, it's totally fair because this is a nonsense baloney title. .hack / GU volume 1. Rebirth. That's a lot. It's just a lot. Like
it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Dan's already.
And the only reason I know about it is that Dan and I are initiated in the tomfoolery of anime names and stuff like that. So but that's the only reason I'm here is because I used to watch the anime growing up as a kid. So it's like it is cool. And this is CyberConnect. I think that made these games. And like they continue to make some of the best anime games out there.
Yeah.
If that's your bag, if that's your jam. Also, they got fired from Final Fantasy VII, if y'all remember. So,
what are you playing this one on, Kyle?
Yeah,
I'm playing it on the Switch, but it's on everything. It came to like PlayStation. I think it's on Steam as well. Yeah. It goes on sale all the time. And they're breezy games. They're Did you play the original series, Dan?
No. I've always known, but I never actually got to them. I don't know why. I have no idea, but.
But you have this one, and I think you're in for a treat with this one. Yeah. And the combat is real time, so it's very basic. There's like one attack button, and you could do team ups and stuff like that. And then every once in a while, you turn into a Gundam, and that turns into like a light rail shooter. So like that's. So yeah, it's cool. I like it a lot. It's very anime, and I guess that's my mood right now is anime. And the only other thing, and I'm not going to spend time on this one. I'm still playing Raidou. Devil Summoner, long name. Talk about another crazy long name that no one's gonna remember the name of.
The remake that they did.
Yeah, the Persona style, detective game. It's very, very good. I'm very hooked into it. I'm like 5 hours into it now, but playing a lot of Japanese anime stuff right now. Help me out, Mafia. I needed a manly shooting people in the head, like part of the family type of stuff to get me out.
Yeah, listen, between this and Borderlands next month, you're gonna be fine. Like you'll have.
That's true. That. Yeah. There's nothing more manly than Borderlands.
I mean, Borderlands is so manly. That reminds me of that scene from It's Always Sunny when they're trying to do the invitations to the party and they make the bicep invitation.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not gay.
Yeah. So funny. Gosh, that's so funny.
So good.
All right. Well, hey, there's a couple things that I've been playing, but I also wanted to shout out an old movie that on our trip, my father and I were just chatting up about movies and shows and stuff. He listened to the Game of Thrones books too. We were talking about the Game of Thrones books, and but then we got into old movie discussions, and there's of course a bunch that he's seen that I haven't he really is a big fan of old westerns and old war movies, and he was like, well, it's like that part in Zulu, and I was like, I think I've heard of it. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what Zulu is, but it's this really old school. And Kyle, maybe you are more of a movie guy than I am.
I am more of a.
But it's a pretty highly touted movie still today. It's set in South Africa. Yeah,
like that old.
It's a young Michael Caine. It said introducing Michael Caine.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. And he's got a much different sounding voice. Of course, he's much younger. But the whole idea is that they are. Really young. It's almost think like 300 or something. You've got this really small regiment of troops that are sort of stranded and surrounded by thousands of these Zulu warriors. It's all filmed like, as I'm watching it, I'm going, this looks incredible. It looks dated, yes, but it looks incredible. Like some of the scenes of them coming like up over the hill, I'm legitimately, I was thinking I would kind of chuckle at this and have to pretend that I liked it next time I hang out with my family, but I'm really impressed. Yes, some of the fighting and the stabbing, you kind of do a little bit like, yeah, all right, that's what they could do back then. That's it doesn't need to be gory and violent and realistic. It doesn't look real, and that's okay. But a lot of it looks incredible, and the acting is really good. Like I don't know, I'm surprised. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I'll just say that.
Once you go beyond the 70s, like it is dicey. Like, is this gonna be dumb? Like, is it gonna be old and dumb? Because games, movies do just feel kind of dated. Like beyond the 70s, they just do.
I do totally true. And there was something too. I was like,
Arabia. I'm sure these movies like they inspire everything too in terms of camera shots. So
right. Yeah, so the Zulu it's an impressive movie. So if you are a movie person and you like war movies and kind of want to just see a blast from the past that's not cringy to look at or watch or listen to, like there's even like Michael Caine's character and the other lead guy, I forget his name. Those two characters are constantly kind of bickering at each other for who should be in charge based on when their enlistment date was, and it's by a few months, So it's like little things like that. They did a good job of like, I don't know, man. It was really good. I thought they did a good job with that movie. So wanted to shout that one out. As far as gaming, of course, been playing a lot of Mafia this week, playing more college football as I get ramped up for college or for all kinds of football to hit. So I'm pumped for that. Playing a lot of that. And then Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I'm still trucking through that game. I love that game. It's really so good. It's like really excellent.
It's the perfect difficulty for me too. Like the bosses push back,
times, but not
and they push back just enough. Like I'm killing on my third or fourth try, and I'm never frustrated. But like it makes me earn it, Like I do like how tough it is, but it's not too
totally tough. Agree. Yeah, some of the boss fights are really cool, really creative. So yeah, I made it through. There's a section where you have to fight. You have to pick between 3 areas to go to, and each of those has kind of an ending element, and you're trying to collect these 3 things. And so then some big stuff happens. So I'm at the part after that. I think it's like chapter 4.1 or 4.2 is where I am now. So yeah, not in a rush. It's also an arcadey, a very arcadey game. You get graded on how fast you went through. Like, did you meet the challenges? Did you collect the things? So yeah, I'm having a good time with it. That game is awesome. So loving that one. And then also wanted to just talk about how I finished Eric's Home. It's nice to finish a game. I like to wrap up a game and see the credits and complete a story. Eric's Home, The Stolen Dream is fantastic. It's a stealth game. It's a stealth game. So if you are hoping like, oh, maybe it's like Hitman and everything hits the fan and like, no, you're going to be dead. It's a little more early. Like think of Plague's Tale, the early half of that game, where if you're spotted, it's like nothing you can do. You don't have like a powered up slingshot or like powers or anything. You're just dead. Most of the game is more of that, where just don't get spotted. Because if you get spotted, it'll reset you to the last checkpoint. The whole point is that you're not supposed to be seen. That's the story as well, is that they're trying to find you. So, but I like the story as well. It's kind of in this fictional universe that feels very much like a Industrial Revolution England, but it's not. It's like made up cities and a country and some government. There's stuff happening. There's bigger things at play that the main character, Hannah, and her brother get pulled into, and it's really good. And I am so impressed, just like with Mafia, so impressed with the facial animations and everything from eyes to expressions to all of it. It just, I don't know. Unreal 5, I assume, is what it's made with. It's just changing the way games communicate to us in this. I just love it.
It does seem to let like smaller teams make really pretty, because I mean that game, I've seen the cutscenes. I remember them showing that game, and I was like, the cutscenes like look really great for like a small team.
Yeah.
Like putting it
Well,
together.
even the gameplay, it's very zoomed out. There are times that I'm like, I wish you could zoom in a little
Yeah.
bit, but I see why they didn't let you. It's very zoomed out, but it's very detailed. You're down in the sewers and you're up in the forest and you're going through cities and you're climbing up rooftops, or you're at a train station. You're all these different locations, busting into this castle or this fortress or whatever. The visuals, I think, are very good, even from as it's zoomed out. The lighting is great. They use good shadows to good effect with some of the stealth stuff too. But a lot of it does come down to use the environment. They usually you get 2 or 3 options, and you can kind of see, oh, if I break this light, they'll go look at it. I can sneak behind them, and now I can throw a rock to distract this guy and go around him. Like, they have that. Eventually, there's some, I guess you could call it combat, but not really. There's some things you can do to neutralize enemies throughout that game, but for the most part, you're just trying to get past everybody, you know? So, yeah, man, really, really good. Loved that game. So, a lot of fun. And I just like finishing games too. I keep track of like the games I played in a given year, and it's nice to move that over to the.
I do. I keep a little counter too. It's not for anybody. Who's it for? I don't like. But I got one.
Literally for no one.
Yeah, so I can.
It's funny. I like write it, and then I sit there like.
Yeah, same. I'll look at it like, yeah, those are the ones I beat this year.
Yeah, look at that list.
It was good to cross things off a list. You know,
it does
feel good. Yeah, no denying it. But all right, well, let's jump into a little bit of news before we wrap up our conversation tonight. Let's see here. I want to do some of the headlines that we highlighted first, and then we'll go through the Nintendo Direct Indie World to wrap it up, just to make sure it's on somewhat of a positive note. Because you never know when we go through headlines. Unintentionally, sometimes we get super negative. We don't mean to. Just some bad things happen in this stupid industry. I don't think there have been major layoffs. I did see news that Bithell Games, so Mike Bithell, they did lay off a bunch of their team, but it's like a dozen people. So those kind of things don't usually hit big news. But anyway, they're the ones who, I mean, they did stuff like Thomas Was Alone. They did, let me see here. John Wick Hex, I played that a little bit. A couple Tron games. Like Volume. Yeah. I mean, they're smaller games. But anyway, so there are still movements, and I mean that in a negative way. There's still movements in terms of industry jobs. It just seems like a really tough environment still.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully, no major like big companies firing 1,000 people type things this past week that I'm aware of. But I thought this was funny. This is always fun to make fun of big companies when they say silly things. Like Sony, their chief financial officer, who was in a Q&A session this past week, and it was after their financial results, and they were asked about their live service plans, which we all know they touted and they celebrated, and they were bragging about all the live service.
$1 billion on too, yeah.
So much money, and they were like, "This is gonna be great. We got like 6 different projects. I forget. I want to say it was 6, probably more.
Yeah,
live service games that are in development, and like a couple of them landed and then are gone. Like Concord, of course, being the most notable, newsworthy one. But Marathon has been. I mean, the name is so ironic because it's been a literal marathon just to get this game out the door.
Yeah.
They also were like saying some positive things right before that happened, right? Like,
yeah, yep, they were. That's right. So, but the CFO, and this is her job, okay? So we're not holding it against her. Her name is Lynn Tao, and she, according to a translator, said that there's been some somewhat negative news that's been coming out in regards to like live service stuff. And I'm like, you're already off to a great start, Lynn.
Keep it going.
But Lynn. She did talk about games like Helldivers 2. MLB The Show is a funny one because I'm like, that has nothing to do with live service. Sports games have always been around. There's always online. So don't list that one. That feels like a stretch. Yeah. So does Gran Turismo 7. Like racing games and sports games.
I would say it's an ongoing game that gets lots of updates and stuff like that. But like calling it a live service game is weird to me. Yeah.
So those are 2 major ones, and then she listed Destiny 2. So of the 4 that she listed as like, here's some examples of success. You guys want to talk about the failures and the struggles, and there's been somewhat negative news around these 2
titles. They had to fluff that list a little bit with some of those titles.
Look at these 4, and I'm like, okay, well, Destiny 2 you acquired, and technically it's a live service game, so I'll give you that one, even though I kind of give you one of these looks like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Sure, that's Sony. Totally. That was one of your projects that you guys launched and successfully created. Okay,
sure. Us and Bungie been together forever.
It's like to me, it'd be like Microsoft being like, "Look at all these RPGs we've made over the years, like Skyrim." I'm like, "You didn't make like that would be so annoying to me to have them claim it."
It does read like that, though. You're absolutely right.
her to claim Destiny 2 as a live service success for Sony is funny to me, but okay, that's fine. The sports games and the racing games I don't count, but Helldivers 2, I got to give them credit. That is a good example of success, and that overcame some major backlash too.
But
like
I can also argue that somebody else made that game.
I know. I know.
Just because like you threw some money at it towards the beginning, and they've since gone independent, so their next game like is not beholden to Sony or anything like that, from what I understand. So it's like,
yeah, no, you're right.
I don't know. It feels like they're doing a lot of cheering for things they didn't really do.
So to me, it was telling though, and I actually kind of appreciated that she started to, like, she used some examples of a way to kind of like, well, there's 2 bad ones, but here's 4 really good ones. And I understand what she's doing. It's marketing. This is what you're supposed to do when you're in this position. You're trying to like fluff the numbers in your favor. But that's when they said, like early in the presentation, they had said that live service games for Sony had accounted for 40% of first-party software revenue for the last quarter. And as I thought about that, I was like, oh, well, based on the games she's listing, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. But because of she's counting sports games, they're counting Destiny 2. Yeah, it would make sense that those games account for a lot of their.
Aren't those numbers then falsified because 2 of those games are not they're not live service
but
games.
They're counting them. They're counting them as like ongoing.
Sometimes you gotta tell soft lies to market. That's kind of how it is. Yeah.
But not only that, I think the bigger story to me is the thing that's not talked about here, and that is that, I mean, has Sony had, other than Death Stranding 2, what has Sony really put out really in the last year? There's been some stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love Astrobot. Like, there's been some stuff. Major successes that were like huge commercial hits that I don't know that they've had. Ghost of
Tsushima later, maybe, unless like.
Hopefully, I hope so.
Yeah,
I want that game to be great. Yeah. But to me, it was more telling that there is something. I know we have often said it, but then we're also sometimes fairly critical of others who talk about like, well, you're just allocating resources in a way that you shouldn't. And we're like, shut up. You don't know the inner workings of those companies. That being said, as I watch this and I see the results of what we've seen from Sony, I'm like, it's hard not to think a little bit of they've put a lot more towards the live service stuff. That's why we're not seeing as much from their. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah,
and we could get a huge wave.
Correlation there. Yeah, I think there might be some. You're keeping a lot of teams busy with like an agenda, here with trying to get these service games out, and they could be working on things that are cooler, maybe things that they're more passionate about. I don't know. So there might be some truth to it in this kind of secluded.
Like,
situation.
How cool would it be to let the Bungie team do something super creative and cool that's not another live service thing? But now they're doing.
You're not happy with Marathon, Tim? Like, what's wrong with you?
I'm not even saying they need to make Destiny 3. I feel like Destiny 2 is gonna be fine for years to come, but like. A Destiny 3 would be way more exciting than Marathon, or just letting them do something different. Like most teams, they probably don't want to make another of the same thing. Probably. I could be wrong.
This is when capitalism fails, and this is why I'm just so exhausted by this bullshit of these people at the top of companies. They're not human. They're just like these like empty husks that just see dollar signs.
They're reptilians in human uniforms and
for real though, they kind of are. They just don't even understand the human psyche, and like I think people are just like, people are really dumb nowadays, but they're also very smart and like very self-aware, and like we just are done with the bullshit. Like,
well, this is what happens to all entertainment, right? Is it gets corporate, and then there's a whole kind of movement about hating the thing you used to love. Rock and roll is a great example. Everyone turned on rock and roll in the 70s because it became like commercialized and like mainstream, and now everyone was like, rock and roll
when it
sucks.
had been the voice of the people for so long, right?
Exactly. It's like a whole genre of music sucks. Like, I don't know, or the late 70s, early 80s, But it's just like, I think this happens to everything. I think everything gets a turn with like investors and money makers who want to get involved in the new big thing, and then they ruin that thing. And that's why you support your little guys,
They even ruined their successes because, like you said, with Helldivers too, like they almost burned that whole that was a success, and then they were like, "But you have to like make an account." Which I mean, like I personally feel like it's not a big deal. People are whining.
I feel like it's not a big deal, but also they made it harder on themselves, right? Like both things are true. Like,
it was a big deal in the sense that some areas in the world can't they can't make a PSN account or something like that.
It's enough of a big deal to enough people where it is a big deal, despite whether it affects us or not.
But instead of being obsessed with this idea of making a live service game or even multiple of them, just lift up the ones you already have that are a success. If Helldivers came out and they just didn't do any of that nonsense, and they even gave more money because they're like, hey, we really like what you made here, and it's a live service thing, and we support this, they could have just helped them out even more, and it would have got even more successful. But instead, they almost ruined it, and it just, I don't know. That's what I mean. It's these people at the top of these companies just are dumb.
Because that's, if you listen to the interviews with the people at Concord, they're like, we really believe in this project, and we were really trying to make something that was really good, and we're really into these characters, and we really think it's going to be a big hit. And Sony kind of came in and was like, hey, you want some money? And that blew up in their face.
Sure.
So it's I don't know. Maybe they need a new guy or gal who chooses what projects to back. I don't know. Maybe
yeah, I mean,
the wrong person picking.
Points well taken, Dan. I know you've made it before about capitalism. I'm no pro. I'm no economic pro, so I can't speak
I don't want to see a curmudgeon about capitalism, because
no, you're just a communist. That's fine. But I'm just kidding.
Everyone should have the same amount of stuff.
Oh my God.
All the time.
Yeah.
But I do
I
love
just mean
to
living on a
see-
commune, it's not we're all together.
I'll exchange my tomatoes for your onions and we'll be happy.
You get it?
Great.
Yeah. That's not
no one ever takes advantage of those situations either. To me, it's more about the darkness in the hearts of people who are in charge, and those who the boards and the decision makers.
Of course.
To me, that's where it is, because you can live in any kind of economic structure. Again, this is absolute noob. Don't know anything about economics outside of just general stuff I see in the news. But just my basic opinion is that a lot of different systems could work, but the problem is you just got human beings involved with them, and they're going to take advantage of other people.
Flawed.
And
that's part of the corruption corrupts art type of thing, or money corrupts art. That's part of that conversation, where it's just when people want money and they're looking at something, that thing becomes corrupted in some way. Maybe not in a way that's unenjoyable, but
But I think it affects the negative effects it has is usually in the areas of creativity and the arts. So video games or movies or music, and you see the stuff that's just corporate and just feels gross and it's just slop. Or you watch these shows that are why did this get 14 seasons? This is just pure garbage. But it's because that's the one they were pumping into our veins, because it's the only channel a lot of people can get with
it makes money
or whatever. So to me, that is where I really am bothered by the dollar being the almighty lead for some of this stuff. And it's with these areas, stuff that I enjoy. It's the arts, it's the creative stuff. That's why breath of fresh air for stuff like Witcher 3 a few years back, over 10 years ago now, with CDPR, or without having a huge publisher or mega supporter behind.
But look what that deal did to them when they did make that deal with Cyberpunk. We got to see in live time kind of what happens when you go, give me your money. Give us your money. We could use it, and then Cyberpunk happens when it launches.
Earlier we were talking about George R.R. Martin with Game of Thrones, and there's an element of that I think is true too. If he had never gotten that deal with HBO, and if that hadn't blown up into the cultural phenomenon that it became, would we already have books 6 and 7?
We would.
It just makes you wonder, as you watch and see what monetary financial success does to some people. Not everybody. There's some great people out there.
Claire Obscure Dev said no. I mean, I'm sure they've been courted by dozens of people. And expand your team. Let's give you some money. Work on something big. And they're like, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. We're gonna keep the teams the same. So I don't think art is dead.
Exactly.
I don't want to have that conversation, because I just don't think, I think that's just hyperbolic, but corrupted in parts of it. Sure. Yeah. There are corners of every industry that are just a little bit corrupted because of money. But
part of that story is Ubisoft devs and team members and employees went and formed this. Some of them, at least, formed Claire Obscure Studio, Sandfall, right? Aren't some of them former Ubisoft? So
I think I think that's right.
It's they got out of that quagmire. Again, not that everyone that works at Ubisoft and executive levels are pure evil, but there's certainly some questionable things that have happened in
they
big
got
companies
underneath
like that
some
one.
sort of force field or foot or something like that, where they were able to make
Something.
something a little more freeing, you know, and that's gotta
That's right.
artistically feel good, you know, like when you're on that
That's
team,
right.
y'all are working on something that you really believe in, and it's
Yeah.
not
Yep.
something that like you're being funded to make, which I can't imagine. Like again, like let's say you're an artist who really is a visionary, and like, but all you can do is like take commissions. You know, I'm sure that's, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm like you want to probably do something more than that, you know, and that's coming from someone who's never drawn anything beyond stick figures, so I don't really know what I'm
Same.
talking about. But you know, I find it more freeing to write fiction than I do to write stuff like for websites like I used to. You know what I mean? Like there is just something a little
Yep.
more freeing about like jazzing up with your art or whatever. And I like that some
Yeah.
people have the ability to say no still, and I think we should champion those people. You know, again, it's easy to be like, oh, everyone sucks and the industry's falling apart, but like there are enough people out there who are like doing it right and like have their eye on the right stuff, you know, where I don't think that we're gonna, I don't know, see everything fall apart. I hope not, at least. You know, we'll see.
Yep. Well, it
Keeping it
reminds me
P.
too of
Keeping it P.
even like the. I'm going to bring this game up every episode. I can always get a chance to. Valheim devs, the Iron Gate.
Oh God, here I go. No, I'm kidding.
I'm out. As they hit their,
I love Valheim.
as that game hit like this
Valheim?
crazy success, it hit that at the right time. Beginning of the year,
Yeah.
pretty quiet with other games, and it just took off. Right, a lot of
Mhm.
streamers started playing it, multiplayer, like all the things started happening for that
They're really
game.
popular.
I know it's no longer in the spotlight now. Of course, it's been like 4 years, but I think they might have added like a social media community person or like someone to help with some of the marketing pieces to make sure they get a blog up or a little podcast episode up sometimes to update. But
That's cool.
their dev team stayed the same size as far as I know. They might have outsourced
Yeah.
a couple things, but they are just like staying the course. They're still working on their last area. They didn't speed up any of it. They didn't all of a sudden feel rushed. Like we got to get
respect
this
it.
game out. We got to get this game out. Like it was like, nah. Now that pissed off a lot of people. Some people are still mad. They're like, I'm never playing this again. This is taking too long. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair, but it has taken a long time. But they are about once or twice a year putting out a major update of some
You
kind.
get to play it, you know. Like it's not like it's a game that's locked behind trailers and CGI, you know, cutscenes and stuff like that. Like you can play it if you want to right now. And like that's
they could have
cool.
decided, hey, we're canceling all those plans. We're just going to release it 1.0 as is because it's so successful. And people like could have, but they're like, no, we're going to finish our vision for this thing and we're going to go at the pace that we had planned. So I don't know. I do like when people hit financial success, like those two we've used as examples, Clair Obscure and Valheim, and it doesn't seem to break what made them so special in the first place as a team.
So
as
you're not
creatives.
talking about Star Citizen, then? I want to make that clear.
No.
Listen, you gotta believe. You gotta believe, Kyle. One day.
You gotta believe. But yeah, there is. I mean, this happens. I feel like in every industry where you have people at the top who don't understand the nuances of this. They're just in a role to talk to press and financial people about the numbers and the monies and to say yes or no or to hire and fire in huge waves. So like,
yeah,
I don't know what the fix is for that when a company gets to that size. Maybe ideally there would never be a company that big in charge of creative stuff, but I don't know.
Get rid of the lizards. Get rid of them.
Get rid of the lizards. Yeah. Vote with your dollars. That's all you can do, right? You just vote with your dollars.
Vote with your
dollars. Vote with your time. I know it's boring. I know, like that's.
But it's true.
That's the answer.
It's true.
Yeah.
They
I do
want
feel bad
your
for
money,
these folks
so
who
you
are
say no. You know.
Yeah.
I do feel bad sometimes for these
Like
folks who are put in these positions where they have to answer these questions because when the meeting's over, they have to go to that dark room where there's the 9 screens with like shadowed faces. Who
yeah,
you're
it's
answering to,
Evangelion.
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. And they all have like protected identities, and they're like, "You failed us again."
Shadow
I feel like
people.
That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
right. It's just like Mr.
Yeah, they sound
Clark.
like
it's not even a real name. You
Deep
know, like,
Throat.
you're just like that's made up.
Yeah, it's Deep Throat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you get it. Anyway, all right. Well, there was 2 other things real quick before we get into the indie world. One was that Dynasty Wars, Kyle, is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Are you feeling old?
It's a long time, dude.
them.
Right? 25
Good
years? That's insane.
Yeah.
It can almost rent a car, I think. It's 26. I don't know. Maybe that's not true.
So what are they doing for this? Are they just kind of like, yay, we're 25 now? Or because they just released a game.
Yeah, we're 25 now. No, they're releasing a big expansion for Origins, which is one of the better ones to date. And I think the big news is that they're remastering, and they're being very coy about this, but they're remastering a fan favorite, which, like, it's documented that that's Dynasty Warriors 4, which is the best one in the series.
It's documented.
It is. It's documented, guys. There's data out there. No, for real though. But like that is kind of like the buzz that is like the fan favorite. Like that's probably going to get the remaster. It's the bestseller in the series.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I just more the news is just about celebrating something that's lasted this long. And like that probably only sells a couple million copies every single time it comes out. This is a series that has lived off of the same fans forever. And that's cool. It is cool that when a game can just kind of stay the size that it is and still find success, even though it's not some kind of 20 million unit type of game or whatever. Again, it's stuff to appreciate and applaud. You know, they figured out how to make it work for that many years. So yeah, good for them. I'm excited.
See, that probably launched on was that a Dreamcast or PS2? Probably
PS1, I think, was the original. Yeah,
really?
I got on.
PS1?
Yeah, I got on like
because
PS2.
Dynasty Warriors 2 was PS2.
Yeah. I think Dynasty Warriors 3 was my first Dynasty Warriors, and they did 12 of those. It was like Dynasty Warriors Extreme and Dynasty Warriors Ultra.
Oh, I remember
like,
Extreme.
They just did it forever, and then 4 came out years later, I think on PS2
so
as well.
Didn't they do?
Maybe it
was Dynasty Warriors Extreme like they're in their bathing suits right on the beach and they're like?
That's right. Yeah, it's actually all volleyball. yeah, that's right.
Just takes a very different turn. All right. Well, this is going to be, I think, good news for some fans, although maybe some potential question marks from fans of the series.
Thoughts on this is
Silent Hill F is going to be more action oriented to appeal to new gamers and younger gamers. 14 minutes of footage showcased the new combat. Did you guys watch the footage, number one? Because I didn't. And what do you think?
I did. I did. You didn't. I have heard Souls-like from a lot of things, not in difficulty, but stamina bar. You know, yeah. Which is like that's what I saw. Didn't seem exactly Souls-like. So the 14 minutes maybe did some paint that picture, but I think people would say Souls-like.
People throw that around all the time. Yeah.
All they mean is that everyone hits. Yeah. No. Kind of. Everything moves slow and purposeful, and you have a stamina bar. That's usually what people mean. You know, and like so. But like, and I know you're kind of new to the series, Dan, but like even from the outside, you've always viewed Silent Hill as kind of a more cerebral, psychological thing and less of a action.
Oh, for sure.
Thing, right? Like that's kind of what everybody knows, I think, about Silent Hill. And I don't know, like I don't want to judge because I think this game looks awesome, like visually, and I think it's got a really unique idea or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. Like when seeing it kind of just looked like 2 to me, to be honest. The remake, maybe it just there's more opportunities to fight, and that's what they meant because there was like kind of a stamina bar in that too, and you did kind of hit heavy and hit light or whatever. I don't know. I just don't think that like stop saying Souls-like when you're marketing your game. Please.
Also, understand what a Souls-like actually is, for the love of God. It's literally in the term.
There better be some sort of like roguelike like situation in these Souls-like games. Like if you're gonna like throw around that terminology, like people better be dying, you better be dropping currency, you better be getting back to your body, you better be ultra hard, there better be it better have every single checkbox. Like, it better be a Souls game if you're gonna call it a Souls-like.
What I do wonder from what they're saying, so because I guess you can kind of interpret that a couple different ways. Do they mean a bit more than the past Silent Hill games?
Yeah, I think so. Just in comparison to Silent Hill, it's just going to be a little more actiony, is kind of how they were pitching it. And the 14 minutes just seemed like you're getting into fights constantly. Whereas, like, I feel like Silent Hill kind of picks and chooses its moments.
Okay,
you know?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this feels like maybe every corner you turn around.
Like, obviously, I played the remake, so not the OG. So I've heard that
a little
there
more
is differences there.
Remake than the original. Yeah, a little more.
But even in the remake, though, there are gaps of just not fighting, which to me seems purposeful because it's to terrify the shit out of you, wondering when something's going to pop out of any corner or whatever. So that's the
I feel like
point of
that's
it, is to
important
make
to
you.
scaring you too, is by like
Yes.
creating this tension and stuff like that has to burst at some points, which comes in the form of someone jumping out at you or you getting into combat.
Yeah.
I bet you when everyone's playing this game, people are like, "Oh, this is just like Silent Hill 2. It's just maybe a little more combat." The remake, that is,
Yeah. I mean, there could still be a lot of scares in this, and that's fine. Like,
it's just interesting the way that they said it. Like, we just want to appeal to new gamers, so we need it to be a little more like twitchy, and like I don't like that marketing. Like, maybe it's not aimed at me. Maybe it's a lie to get
what Kojima said.
Yeah, exactly. It is the opposite of what Kojima's sad with this. Like, this is what my Silent Hill wouldn't have been.
Kojima opened up the newspaper, read that, and started laughing. He's like, that's the Konami I know.
Yeah.
I love that his feedback was like, too many of the new gamers like it. Let's change it. Let's make it worse. Like, he
I want to make it worse.
Obviously, like, I don't want you to like my stuff.
So I don't know. I feel like I don't know if it's going to be a deal breaker for people who are already in on like the visuals and stuff like that, but like I think it changes what the game is if like you're just like Devil May Crying your way through, which is not what they said, but I'm just being hyperbolic. You're just like slicing and dicing your way like to to the end. It just seemed like to me they meant there's a stamina bar, there's going to be more bosses, and maybe there's more ways to attack. Like, that's kind of what I saw from the 14-minute trailer. Yeah. Like, that's what it seemed like to me. And that seems like a better thing to say than what they did say. Like, you should make me your marketing guy.
Like, so that's what I was trying to get at, because it's either like they're saying this is more of like take Resident Evil like 5 for example, like, because even 4 still had like creepy elements or like kind of like scary tense parts, whereas 5 was definitely more action. Is like the first one that was like, I'd say, more
4
action
was more
than
action
horror,
than
for
3,
sure.
Like
it's
okay.
So it's like either they mean that, or it's like, hey, there is more combat, but there's also still, holy shit, like this is gonna scare the crap out of you, like moments in this game. Like, and if that's the case, then say that, because that's what the fans want. They want to be terrified, in all the ways possible that this series is known for.
Old fans just say there's a dog ending, and everyone will show up. So that's a deep cut reference. So there you go for the 3 people.
It was way over my head, but I still liked it. I liked it. I liked what was happening. I liked the spirit of it.
Whatever.
One other game that we actually didn't cover, but it's also part of the news, and I'm curious, Kyle, if you can give us some thoughts on it, because you've been playing it. So Battlefield 6 has we've talked about how it's been revealed, and they've got 2 open beta weekends happening. One is happening right now this weekend. By the time you're listening to this, it's over. But it's going to happen again this next weekend, August 14th through 17th. And then the game launches in October, on October 10th. So Kyle, you've been playing this one a bit. What do you think so far? What do you think the general consensus has been, too, of others playing it?
Well, I think the consensus of the reveal last week was very positive. Their show-off was very positive. I'm sure y'all talked about that maybe a little bit last week, but I think the proof is in the pudding. I actually pulled the player numbers on Steam, and excuse me, and just indulge me for just a second. So if the highest peak concurrent numbers for Black Ops 6, the one that just came out, was like 496K or whatever. Like, it just the open beta just passed that like this weekend, and it's like going towards the 600,000. So for the first time ever, like, people are playing more Battlefield than Call of Duty at its peak of this particular iteration, and this is a beta. So it's like, I don't think as a lifelong Battlefield guy, it lived in Call of Duty Shadow for the last 15 years. Like, that's just a fact. Sorry. Like, I prefer Battlefield. I'm a Battlefield guy. Call of Duty won, if we're talking about like who won the race and got the most people to play it or whatever. I'm not saying that this is going to outsell Call of Duty next year. I think that's impossible. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But I think that there is a fever around this game that people want to play. It's very good. I stopped in to play a match or 2. I ended up playing for 8 hours straight today. It's very crazy. I try not to do that too often these days, but yeah, it was very, very good. It's competent. The worst thing that I've seen people complain about, and something I experienced too, is that there is a queue when you start up the game. I never waited longer than 5 minutes at all. So 5 minutes.
Don't you expect that for an online beta? Like, you kind of expect that, right?
But on the heels of that, I've had no crashes. I haven't been kicked from any game. It's stable.
Wow.
There's like 3 or 4 maps. There's 5 different modes. It's a big, big, beefy beta, and everybody's playing it. Like, it is huge. It's a big, big, big deal, and I think there's a lot of really positive buzz behind it. And I think that like this is going to be the favored maybe not the seller, the biggest seller, but I think it is going to be the favorite of the two for maybe the first time in the history of this like competition between Call of Duty and Battlefield. I just think like nobody's talking about Call of Duty like Black Ops 7. Like I don't know like what do you know about it? That the guy from Heroes is going to be in it? Like I don't really know anything about this game. I know they're going to do a reveal here soon, but like it's like people just aren't talking about it, and people are kind of sour on the last game, even though it did really well. Call of Duty survives in the back end of its life, so like we all liked it when it first started because it was fresh, the campaign was cool, but like people who play that game all year, it's just running out of steam. I don't know if you've seen some of these skins with like American Dad and like Beavis and Butthead, these like cartoon skins. They just look completely out of place.
I saw the
like,
Beavis.
we're into jumping the shark, seasons of this game
gosh.
at this point. Nicki Minaj was in it last year. Like it's just like it's kind of nuts. I just don't think people.
I guess.
It is trying to be Fortnite, yeah. And like Battlefield is a boots on the ground soldiers game. They said that skins are going to be all military skins. There's no cat ears. There's none of that stuff. Like everyone is a soldier.
Can't be a furry.
Can't be a furry. Sorry, Danny. Gotta
no bubblegum, tobacco only. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a game.
Yeah, it's for manly soldiers.
Now destructible buildings and stuff too, right? Destructible
buildings, no evolution, so you're not like doing some big event where a skyscraper falls over, but like the buildings are more destructible than they've ever been. And I mean, it's just chaos. They have dialed back the amount of players. I think the big problem with 2042 is like it was 100.
That always overwhelmed me. I was like, I don't want to do that.
And imagine doubling it, So it's 120 players versus 120 players, and there's just too much going on. The maps were too big. It was hard to get across the maps, They've scaled it back to 64, so it's 32 versus 32 again, which is kind of what the series started as. It's still a lot, but it's a dialed back amount of chaos that like feels a little more manageable, even though it's still chaos at the end of the day. I'm enjoying it. I got all of my Call of Duty friends who just don't play anything else but that to play the beta. They love it. They're buying it. They're not going to get Call of Duty this year. I converted them, guys. I won. It took a lot of the years, but I did it. I got these guys away from Call of Duty into a game that's actually good. And I think most people would say this is one of the better feeling Battlefields, maybe in 3 or 4 iterations, maybe since 4 or 5. I forget what people thought about 5, but
I mean, just for some context for people about these numbers that Kyle's talking about. So the peak was 521,000 concurrent players on Battlefield 6 open beta. That puts it, I mean, it's in the top 20 all time for all-time peaks already, just for the beta. And that puts it right in the realm of games like we just talked about Valheim when it hit its real high peak of 502,000. Apex Legends was more, and that's like 600,000. Path of Exile 2 was only a few thousand more, 50,000 more. Terraria didn't quite get to those numbers. Call of Duty hasn't gotten to those numbers, as you mentioned. So, like, that's a big deal, man.
These are games that broke into the zeitgeist of gaming, and like again, like its numbers are comparing or exceeding. It's crazy. Like I've never seen a beta do so well or play so well. Usually, like I just kind of expect like, I'm not going to get in this weekend, or maybe it's not going to be till Sunday until they figure everything out. Like. It's good. They needed this win. This sounds like, everyone was joking about like, oh, Superman's not good. WB is going to close up, and like ends up being a pretty good movie that did really well. Kind of the same stuff here. It's like EA might be in trouble if Battlefield doesn't do well, and like kind of seems like it's going to do okay, So I guess we'll see. Maybe everyone plays the beta and just doesn't buy the game. I don't know. You never know with these things, but it seems pretty positive just from what I'm checking online and just with my friends who again are like just giant Call of Duty heads, and they courted a bunch of Call of Duty streamers to like bring, this is part of like marketing now. Like the creators and devs, they go to these big streamers and go, hey, how about you start playing our game instead of that other game? And like, they got a lot of diehard Call of Duty streamers. A lot of them were at that event last week. And they bring their
big
whole
part of it, man.
They bring their whole, audience with them. So it's they're doing it the right way. I hope it pays off for them. Not to say that EA, they really need to win that EA, but like, I want Battlefield to win. I'm a sucker, dude. I love the series and I want it to be good.
I agree with you. And the main reason is because if Call of Duty gets put on the ropes, I'd love to see what they do. I'd love to see how they respond.
Oh my God.
Like,
absolutely.
Like, what if they really had to, like, guys, we have to buckle down and make the best thing we've made. Like, I loved last year's Black Ops game.
Me too.
We've talked about it a lot, but what if they had to truly reevaluate what they're doing? They couldn't just phone it in their modes and with the campaign and all this. Like,
And
what if they
this is
really
the
had
year
to...
because they're doing it's a sequel year, which like traditionally doesn't do good for Call of Duty games. You know, they just did this like with Modern Warfare, and it did not go over well.
Right.
So
the
like
back
I
to
just
back,
think this is it.
back-to-back,
I think that they could like haymaker this series again, maybe not in the winning numbers, but like the moral victory is not the right word, but like the I don't know, the communal victory where like it's just the game that's celebrated more. And of course you'll be playing this game.
Take them to the 12th round, like Rocky style, you know, and then the crowd still cheers for you, even though you know. I get it.
Here's the other thing that no one likes to talk about is like we'll be playing this game, Battlefield heads, for the next 3 or 4 years, whereas like you're cashing in your Call of Duty next year, and you're cashing it in the year after that. You'll go through 3 or 4 Call of Duties before this Battlefield is over.
It's true.
So, you know, like we'll see what the longevity of that is. What if they foul it up? What if it's a really strong start and they Monster Hunter Wilds it up and just can't figure out how to make that last 800 hours interesting, you know, for everybody. I don't know, you know, like it is hard to keep people's attention these years. So
that's a good point. Is there a campaign planned for this game?
There is, yeah.
Okay, nice.
It sounds like a pretty interesting story too.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, EA, let's see what you got. It's been a little bit since we've seen a new Battlefield game, so I'm curious to see how all of that shakes out. So the last Battlefield game I played was the campaign for 5. I did like that one.
5 had a good campaign. 5 and 1, I think, people really liked 1's campaign too. I think there was like a great tank level there. Yeah, like I remember that one
for sure. So yeah, I liked those. All right, well, let's wrap it up with the Nintendo Direct Indie World. We'll just skim through these real quick, just so we can have some visuals too. So this first one, they opened up with, I think it's pronounced Mina, or is it Mina? I don't know. I think it's Mina the Hollower. And as you can see here, it's a kind of fast-paced, pixelated action adventure game. There's elements of it that, you know, remind me of, I guess, Legend of Zelda in some ways, but it's pretty unique. There's a lot of jumping. If it's Legend of Zelda, it's more like Link's Awakening because of the jumping and stuff like that, the way that you move around. But there's, as you saw right there, there's a really cool dig mechanic. And so I downloaded a demo for this, by the way. So I played it a little bit. I just wanted to get a feel for it.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a demo.
Yeah, there's a demo. It's not super easy.
Interesting.
In that opening area, I'm like, dang, this is actually pretty tough. Now, it reminded me, like, oh yeah, Shovel Knight was not an easy game. Those were tough games, but they're really fun games.
Yeah.
But there's elements of this that I think are super cool and modern feeling, and I like it. It reminds me sometimes of that the Pipistrello, that yo-yo game that came out this year out of nowhere. That's really fun. But there's also elements that feel very dated. So you can move around, but you can only attack on a grid, so straight right or left, straight up or down, which has made in some of the areas they're just not built for that. So you are really limited in how you can attack certain enemies. So I don't know if they compensate for that with other abilities later. There's one ability where you can throw a sword and it boomerangs back to you, so you can kind of hit enemies from the back if they have a shield or if they're tough to hit. But you know, without a really good dodge mechanic or block mechanic, I was just kind of like, man, I'm getting hit a lot. So part of me is like, I like it, but I could see this being very frustrating for some people. So I'm curious to see when it does launch in October what the reception is. But overall, it is pretty cool. I like the design of it too. I think the look and feel.
I like the it reminds me of something that would be on Game Boy Color specifically. It just has that vibe to it.
That's a really good point. It really does kind of look like that. Even this kind of artwork reminds me of, like, it looks like a Game Boy Advance case or something, like our Game Boy Color case. Yeah, totally. So that was one they highlighted. And then let's see. Let's keep jumping ahead into this one. Looks creepy but super cool, called Well Dweller. I thought this one was worth calling out because it also reminds me of, I love the Tales of Iron games. Just played the second one that came out this year. Love it.
Looks like that.
Elements of this reminds me of that a little bit. But it's got these little cute elements. You're a bird and you're doing this side-scrolling adventure, platforming, fighting, which looks pretty fun. But then it gets super creepy. Some of these bosses you fight look very nightmarish.
Yeah.
And the map made it look like Metroidvania with how big that map and sprawling it was, you know.
Yeah, this one right here, like,
look at this guy.
thing.
Yeah, don't know what that is, but we'll get Well Dweller probably before we get Hollow Knight Silk Song or that. What was that other one from PlayStation that they just stopped talking about? Let Devil Inside.
Little Devil Inside. Don't even.
That's not even real. It's not real. Where is it? Point it to me. Point it out to me.
Then they talked about this game called Neverway, which they describe as a nightmarish life sim RPG, which is kind of cool. So it's creepy, but it's also got some Stardew elements to it. But anyway.
Yeah, this was announced previously. Okay. I just didn't who did they said the artist of
Celeste.
What game was it that they Celeste, thank you. I didn't know that they were involved, so that's super rad. But yeah, I remember when this was first announced, I was totally on board. I think the pixel art is really like creepy. I love like the dark colors, a lot of the dark colors going on. It definitely has a creepy vibe, but like you said, there's definitely some kind of like farming and like sim stuff going on too, which is cool.
Interesting
I'm so on board with this. I'm so on board with this.
Speaking of Game Boy, like some of the color palette choices remind me of Game Boy, but then all of a sudden has these splashes of color, so it's really cool. Yeah, I'm totally on board with this one too. So this one looks cool. It's called Neverway. I think it's also a 2026 game. They didn't give us a good.
Yep.
So both those last two, Well Dweller and Neverway, 2026. And then they talked about Hurdling, which is coming to both Switch and Switch 2. I have a feeling on Switch it's going to struggle a bit. Some of these visuals and lighting look like it's going to be a challenge for that system. But it is also coming to Game Pass. So if you have an Xbox and a PC or either one and have Game Pass, that's probably the best place to give this one a try. But if you want to play on the go, give it a whirl. It's by the same people who made those Far games, Far Lone Sails, and then Far, I forget what the other one was called. Those are side-scrolling kind of sort of survival games. You got to keep your ship moving by fueling it up and all that kind of stuff. So made by the same people. It looks like it has the same kind of post-apocalyptic, peaceful, but also a little bit so peaceful vibe, but also has this kind of aura of something bad could happen or is going to happen. So you have to be careful. So anyway, it has that same vibe to it. So I think Hurdling looks pretty interesting. So
yeah,
I'm on board for that one. One of their casual quick drops was this little indie game called Is This Seat Taken? I can't tell what it is. If it's a puzzle game, is it a quick, little puzzle action game, multiplayer game? I'm not really sure, but it looks like it's
seems
funny and cute and silly, and it uses, from what I can tell, it uses like the little mouse controls. So
yeah, you want to like put like the little characters in specific spot, like they want to sit somewhere specific, so you're having to figure out the patterns of it. So there is a bit of a puzzle element to it.
Yeah, you got to place them in the right spot so they're all happy. So yeah, is this seat taken, which is out now? All right, and then they did some updates to Little Kitty Big City. I thought for a second like, oh, that's being ported, but it's already on the Switch. They're just updating a bunch of stuff where you can design your kitty cat and all that fun stuff. So that update will come later this year. There's this game. I know. I feel like I've heard of this one before. People talking about it, playing it. Content warning, but it's coming to the Switch too.
Kind of looks like that other game where you're running around
Repo?
with a group of people.
Is it Repo?
Repo, but the one before that kind of like hit.
This is becoming really popular, like this genre, whatever this is.
It's these types of like survival co-op-y games, are like real big right now. There's a new Climb one
and multiplayer. Yeah, that's coming to the Switch too. And then there's this game called Ball Pit, which looks just kind of this wild arcade. It looks like a mobile game, to be honest with you. And I don't mean that as an insult. It's just kind of like, it kind of has that vibe. Yeah, there's a lot happening. It looks kind of cute, I guess. I don't know. So Ball Pit is coming out. It is kind of actiony, and I like a good bullet hell game. So I like when lots of stuff are happening and you upgrade and you So I could end up really liking it. And then you do upgrade your little town, by the way.
Oh.
Everyone likes a town
builder. Everyone likes a town builder, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that.
So there's that. So that one's called Ball Pit. Comes out this fall. I don't know why it says this fall for Switch 2, but October 15th. So is it not the same day? Is it?
Maybe not. No.
I guess Switch 2 is the main thing, and then they're going to have to dumb it down for the Switch, so it takes a little longer.
Yeah, it is Devolver. Yeah. All right, and then you get this physics-based silliness called the Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. I don't know what this is, but it's the kind of thing that my boys would play with their friends.
Getting like a cute theme from this whole.
A lot of cute games happening.
Cute theme, cute games,
lots of cute stuff.
So that's coming out this winter. This game called Glacier, I thought looked pretty cool. It's this.
Yeah, this one looks interesting.
You basically fly, or I guess you're swimming, but you're this bird type creature. They're calling it an action RPG. Comes out this holiday. This one looks pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, very unique.
Looks like a seal.
Yeah. So I like the way this one looks. So yeah, that one's called Glaciered. Comes out later this holiday. Then they do a really fast sizzle reel, which I won't pause on each of these, but there's Winterboro, which is this mouse survival looking game.
So excited
I love
for
the
this
art
one.
style.
Art style.
Yeah. Yeah, Winterboro looks great. It
one.
comes out this winter, very fittingly. Undusted Letters from the Past. Basically, it's a antique cleaning sim, I think. I don't know exactly what
It's Power Wash Simulator for grandma's jewelry.
Basically, yeah. Then you have Tiny Bookshop, which we talked about earlier, which was another kind of out today, quick little preview. I don't know what Caves of Cud is. It's like an old school RPG. It looks like text-based RPG. Strange Antiquities. You actually run an antique store, but you're also trying to solve these mysteries. This kind of a detective sim game, sort of. Opus Prism Peak is a narrative adventure game. Comes out this fall. Oh, by the way, the Strange Antiquities, the store game, comes out September 17th. And then we get Go Go Town, which is exactly what it looks and sounds like. It's
Animal Crossing,
really cutesy life city, and it's also city management as well. That Go Go Town, and then of course UFO 50, which I thought was pretty exciting. This game is
perfect for the
wacky
Switch.
and silly. Yeah, very good for the Switch. So yeah, that is out now. Also, UFO 50 is out now. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So overall, you just heard us talking about these games. Oh, that looks cute. That looks fun. Oh, that one's interesting. But that was my overall thought about it when it ended. I was like, okay, that was a thing, and there's some stuff there that I mostly had already heard about, and I'm excited to try, like Min of the Hollower and Herdling. I think Well Dweller was the first one I had not heard of before. That looks really cool. That was the first. That was the only new one that I identified. But anyway, like Kyle said, I'm still in the at least relatively vulnerable. I'll purchase that on Switch 2 phase. So they've got me for a little bit longer, I think, before I start to kind of lock up the wallet a little bit more. So.
It's gonna happen though. Yeah, Pandora's box will close, so you
gotta duct tape that thing.
Go Nintendo.
Tape it shut.
Just port some stuff, like port Wind Waker HD over. I will give you money today.
I will buy Mass Effect for a fifth time if you bring it over to Switch 2. I will. I'll buy it. I don't care. Yeah, who cares?
I'll do it. Yeah,
there's a lot of games I'll buy.
See what happens. I'll buy it.
Yeah,
okay?
Kingdom Hearts. I'll buy it for the 100th time.
I dare you.
I dare you to
put
do
it all on here.
Watch me buy.
Kingdom Hearts, the cloud version though. Give me the cloud version of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, only cloud. I want cloud versions of everything. Actually, is what I would like.
You guys, shut it. That's not. Don't put that out there.
I want to only stream games.
Cloud version Switch 2. Like what?
It would be cool to see some of the cloud versions of games that they experimented with, like Control or Hitman or Kingdom Hearts. Like, put those on the Switch 2 for real.
To the Switch 2. Yeah.
I think I could do it.
I'd buy it too. Just put it on there. I'd buy it. I'd vulnerable.
Buy it. I know. If they're like, hey, we had to lock it at 30. I'd be like, great. That's my favorite.
I don't care. I played it originally at 30. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's how I played it originally. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to be okay.
Games are actually best at 30.
They're best at 30. And I'll take that. I'll die on that hill today.
Right.
Okay.
Listen to that Rockstar X exec where he was like, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to look bad 60 frames per second. It's better suited for 30. It's like, I see what you're trying to do, but shut up.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't say that.
No one's buying this. Yeah.
Yeah. So true. All right. Well, that does it for us this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in, for watching, for listening. And next week we'll catch up again. Hey, at some point in the near future, and I'm curious if anyone's even interested in hearing this, or maybe we tune most people out. I'd love to do a spoiler cast for Clair Obscure.
Yeah,
Expedition
it deserves
33.
it. Yeah.
So at some point we will, especially when there's maybe a couple of slower weeks on big releases or big news or something, we can maybe do something like that. But anyway, thank you guys again. Thanks for tuning in, subscribing, all those things. We'll see you on the next one.